Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Pin in a Day That Was Nothing Special, Yet Very Warm and Quote. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Pin woke up before I did, as usual. Not because he was hungry, not because he wanted to go outside, but simply because the day had started, and that was reason enough for him. When I opened my eyes, the room was quiet. The curtains were still half closed, letting in a soft stripe of morning light. The air felt calm, unhurried. Pin was already sitting on the floor beside the bed, not too close, not too far. He wasn't staring. He was just there, breathing slowly, tail resting on the ground like it had nowhere else to be. This day had no plans, no appointments, no excitement, no urgency. It was the kind of day people often complain about. Boring, plain, forgettable. Pin, however, seemed perfectly satisfied. When I finally sat up, he lifted his head slightly. Not jumping, not barking, just a quiet acknowledgement. Oh, you're awake now. That's nice. We went to the kitchen together. I made coffee. Pin followed, step by step, stopping when I stopped, waiting when I waited. He sat near the door while I stood at the counter, the smell of coffee filling the room. Outside, nothing dramatic happened. No rain, no sunshine worth mentioning. Just another normal morning. I dropped a crumb by accident. Pin noticed, of course, but he didn't rush for it. He looked at me first, checking if it was allowed. I nodded. Only then did he gently pick it up, as if even crumbs deserved manners. That was when it hit me. This day didn't need to be special. Pin was already making it warm just by existing in it. After breakfast, we sat together in the living room. I scrolled on my phone. Pin lay beside my feet. No photos were taken. No memories were created. And yet, the room felt full. Sometimes warmth doesn't come from doing something meaningful. Sometimes it comes from being quietly present with someone who doesn't ask for more. The afternoon moved the way clouds do when you're not watching them closely, slowly, softly, without any clear direction. I worked a little, stopped a lot. Pin followed this rhythm effortlessly. When I sat at my desk, he curled up near the chair. When I stood up to stretch, he stood too, like it was a rule we both understood but never discussed. At one point I sighed, not because anything was wrong, but because nothing was happening. Pin heard it. He always did. He walked over and rested his head lightly against my leg. No big gesture. No attempt to fix anything. Just contact. Just warmth. We went outside for a short walk. Not far. Not long. The street looked the same as it always did. Pin sniffed the same corners. Said hello to the same invisible stories written on the ground. I checked the time once, then stopped caring about it. Pin didn't care about time at all. He paused often, not because he was tired, but because something caught his interest. A leaf, a sound, the wind. Each pause felt like a reminder to slow down, to notice, to be where my feet were. When we got home, the afternoon light filled the room in a gentle, almost shy way. Pin lay in the middle of the floor, belly up, paws relaxed, completely unbothered by the world's expectations. I watched him for a while. There was no productivity in this moment. No achievement. No progress to measure. Yet my chest felt lighter than it had all week. Pin opened one eye, saw me looking, and wagged his tail once. Just once. Enough to say, yes, I'm here. That's all. In a world that constantly asks us to do more, be more, become more, Pin was a quiet lesson in staying. Staying still, staying kind, staying close. The evening arrived without ceremony. The sky darkened gently, like someone turning down a dimmer switch. I cooked dinner. Pin sat nearby, not begging, not impatient, just present. After eating, I sat on the couch. Pin jumped up beside me, slowly, carefully, as if not to disturb the peace we had built throughout the day. He leaned against my side. His warmth was steady, grounding. I turned on the TV, but barely watched it. My hand rested on Pin's head, moving without thinking. He sighed. That deep, content sigh that sounds like trust. There was nothing remarkable about this evening. No big conversation. No laughter. No photos to remember it by. And yet, if someone asked me later what I did that day, I would struggle to answer. Not because it meant nothing, but because it meant something too simple to explain. Pin eventually fell asleep, still leaning against me. I stayed still, afraid that moving might break the moment. Outside, the world kept rushing. Inside, time slowed down. That night, as I turned off the lights, Pin followed me to bed. He circled once, twice, then lay down exactly where he always did. Before sleeping, he looked at me. Not for reassurance, not for permission, just to check in. We're okay, his eyes seemed to say. Today was enough. Pin's day was not special in the way people usually define special. There were no milestones, no exciting events, no visible success. And yet, it was deeply meaningful. Through Pin, we learned that life does not always need highlights to be valuable. Sometimes, presence itself is the gift. In today's fast-paced world, humans often measure their worth by productivity and results. Animals like Pin remind us of a gentler truth. Connection matters more than accomplishment. Pin didn't try to change my day or fix my mood. He simply stayed, and that was enough to bring warmth, calm, and emotional safety. From Pin, we can learn to slow down and truly notice the small moments. A quiet morning, a shared walk, a peaceful evening. We can practice being present with the people and animals around us, without expectations or demands. For those who live with animals, treat them not as background companions, but as emotional partners who share your daily life. Ultimately, Pin teaches us kindness without conditions and love without noise. If we apply this lesson, by being more patient, more attentive, and more present, we can build healthier relationships, not only with animals, but also with each other and with ourselves.